Oli App. It's your girl Hannah here on this first Wednesday of October. I don't know about y'all, but I cannot believe it is already October, one of my favorite months of the year. Now, last week, if y'all listened to the Oli App podcast, I recorded it from the parking garage of the Huntsville National Airport because I went to Michigan for an in-person Oli event. And let me tell you, it was so awesome to get to meet so many of y'all Michiganders. And I love getting to converse with y'all and just getting to know y'all on a deeper level. So if you're one of the ones I met, it was awesome to meet you. And last month, we talked about the immune system, which ties so well into this month, October's month theme of respiratory. So respiratory support. I'm going to have Jim Bob on this Oli App podcast later this month to dive deeper into what the respiratory system is, what it involves, and what we need to best support it. But for the first 2 weeks, I have two of my favorite ladies in the world, Joseling and Gladys. You probably know who they are. I'm going to give them a chance to share who they are. But I just want to go ahead and say I'm so pumped they're going to be with us these first 2 weeks in October, and you're not going to want to miss out on these podcasts. But before we dive deep into that, I want to remind you to go like us on Facebook, Oli App, as well as Instagram. You can follow us there, Oli App. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go and toss it to my two amigas, Jocelyn and Gladys. How are y'all tonight?
Yay!
Hey, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Muy bien, muy bien.
Yeah, we're doing great. This is awesome. Thanks for inviting us and allowing us to be here with you.
This is pretty awesome.
Yes, I'm super pumped. So as y'all know, we are talking about the respiratory system and really the respiratory support that we need. And I think it's the perfect month to do that because I know y'all live in the South as well as I do. And so it seems that October tends to be the month where it gets cold fast. Sometimes Halloween is still like in the 80s, but some years it seems as though we go from the 80s to the 50s real quick. So this week, I thought we would kind of talk about our favorite oils and what we do to best support ourselves this time of year. So I'm gonna let y'all start first. What are some of your must-have oils that you make sure you always have in your wellness toolkit, your Oli kit, whatever you want to call it, to make sure that your respiratory system is as supported as it can be?
Well, there's so many. I love RC. RC is one of my favorite oils for our kids in the house. We had a couple sicknesses in the past couple weeks or month, and that was my first go-to is RC. I would say it's respiratory control, but I'm not sure if it's respiratory control. Everybody calls it all different names.
I call it rub on chest.
See? So everybody calls it all different names. Breathe Again was one of those that I would put down my daughter's spine and also on her chest. So that was another big favorite one. Eucalyptus is a great one for opening the nostrils and sinus and getting them all good for getting the bedding healed.
I have Raven actually in my diffuser in my bedroom the last couple of days. Without it, I feel like I'm not even able to sleep correctly. So Raven has it's one of those good old ones that you just pull out from your old PSK kit.
Yes.
And so that's what I've been diffusing in my room. And I shut the door, I go take a shower. And by the time I come out the shower with the steam and I have the diffuser going, by the time I get into my bed, my room is set and ready to go. And Gladys said the same thing. Eucalyptus is another favorite. And of course, our all-time favorite, we can't forget about thieves.
Yes.
It's always the go-to. Definitely.
Yes. No, I agree. I think RC is an oil that I fell in love with because it was one of the first oils I was introduced to. And as an oil, even to this day, I use every day. I mean, peppermint is something I put on my neck for CrossFit, but RC, that's why I say rub on chest. I rub it on my chest before I work out all the time, even if I wake up and I kind of just need to feel like, get a boost of energy and get going. I tend to put it on my chest as well. And it gets me going. And, I do struggle with sinus issues. So that is one as well. And then Raven, I'm glad you mentioned that because I met a lady in Michigan who has a 5-year-old autistic son who came down with kind of like, a version of croup, I guess. And her son is like, when he ever gets allergies or something, it tends to get bad fast. And so she is new to the oil, lifestyle. And so I asked her if she had Raven, and she's like, actually, I do. That's one of the oils I have. And I told her to put on his chest. And she said it was amazing how drastic her son, even within an hour, how much better he felt. And he went from being a little lethargic little boy on the couch to getting up and running around the house like a crazy 5-year-old boy does. So all that to say, I also want to reiterate that our oils are powerful. Like Young Living has the best oils, and I feel like we underestimate them, even when it comes to stuff like breathing. I mean, we breathe all day, but we tend to forget how important that system in our body is.
Yeah, I remember last year I used to work at a middle school, and I had a male teacher come to my office one day, and he had terrible sinuses, and he's like, I can't breathe and I feel miserable. And he just came to just chit chat. And I was like, well, have you used any oils? And he goes, oh, my wife dabbles into all of that stuff, but I don't believe in that. And I was like, actually, and I pulled out the bottle of Raven. I had it with me.
Nice.
And I was like, here, why don't you just put this on the cavities of your your face, the sinuses.
Yeah.
And he was like, are you serious? I said, yeah, your eyes may tear up a little bit, but just put enough under under your sinuses. And he did that, and within seconds he was like, what the world?
That's awesome.
And I was like, oh, I love it. And he was like, I'm gonna tell my wife to get some of this one. And he did. His wife ended up buying a couple of bottles, and to this day she still calls me and says, I need more Raven. I was like, you can get yourself.
Yeah, now it's really easy to do that.
Yeah.
I have a funny story about RC, actually. So one of my members in the beginning, she pretty much thought you can ingest any oil, and she had ingested RC.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. And I didn't know at the time, like it was okay because she only had taken like 2 drops.
Yeah.
She was a big, like she can't smell anything. She has had many surgeries through her sinus. Candace, do you remember when she? And sure enough, I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to call 911 because I was like reading. So it's really bad for kids to ingest RC, but for adults, size wise, it was okay. So she was fine, but I got her a little nervous because I was like, oh no, you weren't supposed to drink it. You were supposed to put it on your chest.
Yep.
So needless to say, we have to explain sometimes to people. They're just ready to ingest it all.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, adding to that, one thing I do quite frequently is I have a bottle of Myrtle in my shower, which I know next week we're going to talk more into about some of the supplements and products Young Living has that we use for this time of month and for this time of year. But, this week focusing more on oils is I tend to add 1 drop or 2 in my shower, in the water, more towards, how you like in a shower, it's kind of like a tub shower, like there's the water towards the back part of the tub, like this is a shower head, like it doesn't get that wet.
Further away from the shower head.
Yeah. So I put 2 drops over there, and it lasts the whole shower, and it opens me up. And I do that every morning. Like if I take a shower in the morning, sometimes take a shower at night, but like it really helps me start my day so well. And so between that and then putting, I love thieves and peppermint in my diffuser. But I'll tell you one funny story is one time I thought I had RC. I put on my chest every single day when I work out. Well, I didn't realize I had a bottle of Christmas Spirit instead in my backpack. And so I just, cause I wasn't really looking. If I'd have looked at the color in my hand, I would have quickly realized it was not RC, but I was dabbing and talking like whatever. And then probably 5 or 10 seconds later, I was like, this feels a little weird, it doesn't feel right. Like it doesn't have that cooling sensation I was looking for. It kind of has that burning sensation. And so I'm working out. I'm feeling hot. I'm like, okay, something's wrong. So I go to the bathroom. I pull down my shirt. I was legit a redneck. My neck and my chest was so red from the cinnamon and all that in Christmas Spirit. And so let me just tell you, I have never made that mistake again. I remember thinking I'm always going to make sure I only have RC in my backpack, my gym bag, so that I never had that mistake again. But that just proves how much I love RC if I accidentally mistake it for Christmas.
And it's yourself. Never put Christmas Spirit on your chest.
And it's easy to mistaken a bottle because you're just on the run.
And you're just looking for those colors.
Yeah.
That's my husband. He's like, this is not it. This is the same color, but this is not what I'm looking for. I'm like, oh my gosh, just look at the name.
That's why you have to put those labels on top of those on the caps.
Okay, so let's very quickly to kind of get this wrapped up before I let y'all talk about your story and Oli app. Let's all come up with our top 5. This is what I've been doing the last couple of weeks, especially the immune support. Last week, I shared basically my 5 favorite products I use for traveling on airplanes. I said the Aroma Ring, the No Swipe, Thieves hand sanitizer, Thieves spray, and my custom immune blend I put on my back and my feet. If you had to choose, it can be different. It can be the same. What 5 oils are your go-to, your favorite for respiratory support?
So you want 5 from each?
Yep,
Or
do
5
5 each, y'all.
Five from
So
you, five from me.
RC,
Mhm.
eucalyptus, breathe again. I'm gonna say Raven, but she said Raven, so I don't want to take that one away from
No,
her.
it's fine. Y'all can have
Well,
the same
actually,
ones.
peppermint is one of my favorites also because I
Yep.
use that when I run. It opens me up completely my chest and I can breathe better. So peppermint, and I can't think of the last one. Thieves, of course.
Okay, that's a good 5. What about you,
Okay,
Joseling?
me, Aroma Ease is one of my favorites.
Good one.
Raven is probably my top one. Thieves, I love eucalyptus, either the radiata or the eucalyptus.
Yep.
Globus. Those are good ones, gentle enough. And then my 5th one, maybe just the good old peppermint.
Yeah.
Is a good one. I can't think of off the top of my head anything that is aromatic, bright,
Yeah.
for respiratory. But those are my 5. Those are my top 5.
If I had to do 5, I'd probably say breathe again, RC, myrtle, eucalyptus, probably the globulus or radiata or blue, whichever one. And then that, how do you say it? Raven Satra?
Raven
Storara.
Yeah, however you say that. I have that one, and that one is so powerful. It's one of those oils, like, how you can put like 5 or 10 drops of RC and be fine. Like, if I put more than one, I'm like, I only need one. So that one's, I think, one that everyone needs in their wellness toolbox, because even one drop in the diffuser, it goes so far. Like, it's so potent. So I guess those would be my 5. But yeah, for sure, myrtle. I think myrtle is probably my favorite respiratory oil right now. I think it is just one that I reach for, and it's so cheap. Like, let me look it up. Like, I was looking at this today. I feel like this is
that the one that I thought that I bought something else and I bought myrtle?
Well, it's a good one. I mean, pine's good too. I mean, pine is really one of those oils that people think are just woodsy, but it has such good respiratory properties. But I will say, I'm going to pull this up real quick and see how much myrtle is, because I'm telling
Myrtle
you,
is $37.50.
maybe myrtle's not the one I'm thinking of. But
Well, you're looking
it
at
lasts so long. I mean, I don't know.
$37.50.
It's worth it. All right. Well, it's kind of like cedarwood being $11, right? It's like lasts forever. But ladies,
I will try that tonight.
do it. I'm telling you, it's amazing. But before we wrap this episode, obviously, up today, I want y'all to kind of share a little bit about who y'all are, since y'all be on next week. Kind of share a bit about who y'all are and what y'all do for Oleat, because it is such an awesome thing, and I'm so glad y'all are part of the Oleat family.
Thank you, Hannah. So we have been with Oleat for a little over 2 years, almost 3 maybe.
Yeah.
It's been an awesome 3 years. We've learned so much. But right now, pretty much we're just creating content, doing live videos. We do social media stuff. We do a little bit of everything. But our main thing is our Spanish community, which we love.
Yep.
So I'll let Joseling talk a little bit more about the Spanish community.
Yes.
Things that we've been
how
doing.
about we talk about how we got started with Oleat? So for those that don't know us, Gladys and I wrote a book in Spanish, Los Aceites Diarios. And
Say that 5 times fast.
Say what?
I said, try to say that 5 times fast.
So we wrote this book. She and I had a good sized team. The majority of them were Spanish speaking. And as we started teaching classes, they wanted us to teach the classes in Spanish. And it was, something new to us because we've never taught classes in Spanish. And so we started dabbling on that and introducing Young Living to our Spanish community, and they wanted resources. They wanted a book that they can, have to take home after the class, that they can read and learn about the oils that they just purchased in their premium starter kit. And so we started looking around. There wasn't any. And if there was any, everything was out of date and it was old, and it didn't look pretty, and people like pretty stuff. So Gladys convinced me to write a book. And we sat down for many months writing content and getting pictures. And then we got an editor and we published the book, and we were super happy. We purchased enough books to take it to convention, which was going to be our first convention. And then a week or 2 weeks before convention, we get a call from corporate. They found out that we wrote a book and we did not have permission to write a book.
We still don't know who was the person that told on us.
Yeah. So
they know who they are, and shame on them. Way to go, Karen.
Well, things happen for a reason, because
if it was a Karen, if I've offended any Karens, I'm sorry, but
things happen for a reason. And, if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have known anything about Oily App, and we wouldn't be where we are. So,
thank you, Karen. Thank you. It's like the verse in the Bible that says, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. It's like one of those things.
There you go. So, compliance called us and, wanted to review our book and everything. And then after them just saying, you can't use the images. And we was like, but those are our pictures. You can't use them because it's Young Living, oils. And you can't use any word that is trademarked to Young Living. We're like, well, you just dissected the whole book, right? Like, this is the whole book.
Exactly.
So we reached out to Myra Yarborough, which is our Royal Crown Diamond. She knew about the book. She knew that we had published it. She was excited about it. And we had told her that compliance called us and kind of pulled the book from under us. And we needed to have a license to publish the book. Yeah. So she's like, wait, I have my husband, he owns Oily App. He needs some help with some translating of the app in Spanish. So maybe you guys can get together and he can help you and you guys can help him. And make the long story short, we went into contract as business partners, and then we ended up going to convention. And I think that was the first time we met everybody at convention. Yeah.
Well, all good things from the Lord. So
that's right.
Well, to wrap this episode up, of course, episode 134, we're titling this Breathing Again, One Drop at a Time. It's Hannah, Gladys, and Joseling here with you on episode 134. We'll be back with you next week as we dive deeper into respiratory support, as we talk about some of our favorite supplements. Of course, this week is more about the oils. Next week will be more about our supplements and some of the Young Living products that we make sure we always have for this time of year. So for Hannah,
Joseling, and Gladys,
we will see you next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye.